or just can't go home yet, if you have time and you want to do more ministry, you can be there for them. Now, there's different feelings as a chaplain coming in. Okay, I've prayed my prayer, I'm out of here. That's the shortest visit. To, I stay there through the whole duration, that I go out to the car and close the last door. Okay, if you have time and you want that to be your ministry. But I'm saying the gamut is between, hello, I'm Larry, the nurses called me in to have prayer with you, and I've had prayer, between the 3 hours later and closing the last door. It's up to you when your ministry is done. I can't tell you that feel right now. So that's anywhere from 3 seconds to 3 hours. Because again, well, when am I done? Read the room, read the family, read the need, then read your emotion. What if you need to be somewhere? What if you don't feel well? What if you're having your own emotional impact? What if you've got problems in your own family, in your own needs? You need to read your capacity as a minister when your ministry is done, to take care of self and to take care of them. So I can't tell you how long that will be. You will have a feel from that when that is done. But there's questions you can ask, tell me about. I've had some excellent times sitting around coffee and saying, tell me about Mr. Jones. What did he do? Where did you all live? How did you meet? Were you together for Christmas? Yeah, all that. And they talk, and people add their story. I see the grief changing because they're able to express what a great guy. Of course, there's also some rascals out there too, So you hear different stories. I've even gotten up to funeral of people I didn't know and go, tell me something about him. Well, he liked to drink a lot. He had a really foul mouth. Well, what do you want me to say? They got all kind of situation going on. So a lot of this is just the ministry of presence, sitting and listening, acknowledging, and bringing peace. Funeral arrangements. I know this looked like the mafia family there. Yeah, other kind of funeral arrangements. As a minister, you've been involved with funerals already. But I'm kind of giving you a perspective here of ministering to people who aren't your parishioners and your church members, of kind of what you can do to assist them. You might be asking, do you have funeral arrangement? The nurse will be asking that too. Find out what funeral home. Again, that sick you onto a situation, because we want to know what we're going to do with this body once this family leaves. So ask them what funeral home. So you may be asked for the family to find out what funeral home that is. They may have not made any arrangements. They may have everything all done, between the color of the cloth in the casket to everything done to nothing done. Or they may be new here and don't even know the funeral homes. You may supply them the yellow pages for the funeral homes, that here's some choices here in this area. You might need to get to know a little bit about cremation and embalming. Just like advanced directives, I'm not asking you to be the authority on it, but just to have an understanding of some choices out there. And a lot of this choice of just cost. If you've done some survey, I don't know about your area, but my area, there is a huge difference in cost for the same thing. And they may go, oh, well, these are much nicer people. Well, I'm not buying to people. I just need the process, And then sometimes people can make a difference where the workers actually shame them. I mean, there's awful things they say and do and just don't do it as well. Well, you as a minister kind of know your area, but please take special effort not to promote a certain funeral home or to say this one's the best. Remember, wearing the hospital badge, you're working with the hospital, so that would be solicitation. If you go, you got to go here. They took care of my mama. They're great people. This is my brother-in-law. It's like, no, we can't do that as here. Now, you as a local pastor, if you were coming in to visit your people, I don't care what you say. You can say this is the best funeral home, and we do as pastors. They ask us all the time, what's the best place to go get my car fixed? What's the best dentist? And we just kind of our job. We're just the reference people, But when it comes to this, wearing the hospital badge, you saying this is the best place says that the other four are bad. Okay? So we can't get into that. But what you could say, here's a list of all the funeral homes. You need to ask these kind of questions. And here's maybe a place to go. And if you're interested in cremation only and don't need the chapel and the frills and everything else, maybe these kind of cremation only societies might be an answer for you. Out-of-state funerals, I guess your state, like all states, prepare the body in state before it gets shipped out of state, you know, whether that's across lines or through air travel. Can't just put Papa in the front seat of the RV and carry him across state. We won't do that anymore. Death certificates, the funeral home will take care of those. They usually ask, oh, I guess I need death certificates. Funeral home will take care of that for you. You tell them how many, and they'll prepare those, get the doctor's signature. Do you have a morgue here in your house? Okay. Ours doesn't either. It's one of the few in Florida, I think, that doesn't have one. You use what, funeral homes?
Yes, and usually the coroner comes in, especially in the emergency department, they actually comes to the emergency department, and they themselves will call the funeral homes for the family and stuff.
Okay, so they make that connection. So if the family hasn't made a decision yet, does not know what to do, in total trauma, then what would you do with the body in the meantime?
We're really pretty good at getting them to make a decision, but we do have an area that we do use.
All right.
But it's not an official morgue, so.
Okay. But it's sometimes legal if it's a place that's cooler than, what, 40 degrees or something like that? I think that's a state law. So
if it's going to be more than an hour or so, we'll free up her room, we'll move it to another area. Where
for a few hours, no problem.
Yeah.
Not for a day or two.
No.
Yeah. So those may be some of the questions going on. We haven't made a decision. We're not from here. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to go. What are they going to do with Mom's body? So it goes back to nursing staff of decision there. Jewish or Islamic funerals, if they're Orthodox Jew or Islamic, they will not embalm the body. They will wash the body and they will bury them within 24 hours. But they know that. Their minister knows that. And the funeral homes know that. Okay? But you working with them, having that information. Now, if they're not Orthodox, if they're Reform Judaism or nominal Islamic something, they don't follow that anymore. Okay? So again, back to the family, what do you people do? You know, what is your culture? You're going back to the question them to minister to their need if you're filling in as a chaplain. And I guess you knew that the funeral directors around here are so short staffed that they're working on a skeletal crew. Okay, I just had to throw it in. Farewell and blessings. Here's the time when the family's finally going, okay, nothing more we can do here. Guess we need to go home. Your farewell, your hug, your helping them through this can be that touch that they need. A prayer, a touch, cleaning up after in the chapel. Let's say you're in the chapel area and there's cups and tissue and everything everywhere. Once I've shut the last door, the last car, and told them farewell, I go back to that place and I just tidy it up myself. So I never know, an hour later, there's another trauma, and they're walking in going, hospital, man, they're pigs. Because they don't understand it, or you can ask somebody from the housekeeping to come in and clean up. But it's just kind of little tiny things that can help us out there. Follow-up. As I said a few moments ago, in about a year from now, I'm going to come back and do a seminar on codependency and boundaries and scruples and connection to a family, okay? Here's one of those. Do I call them later or not? Do I get their phone number? Do I make another contact? Is that my role or not? And I'm not saying it is or isn't. Read the room, read the people, read their needs, read whether they're connected with the church or not, and you might say, would it be okay if I called you tomorrow? Or you know your ministry's done, okay? So I'm not saying, now with a regular employee, if a nurse were putting that there, we go, absolutely not, we don't do that, okay? But as a minister you go, but don't we do that? Because there are times when you do and there's times when you don't, okay? So you read that situation and know where you connect. I have, as a hospital chaplain, sent letters out to the family after that. I have information that I have that I can do that. So there are things that you can do that follow up, but I'm not necessarily saying that you as a volunteer chaplain do that and make that follow up, but you might know that that would flow right into your ministry. So I know I've scared you to death. what are you possibly going to do the next time you get a phone call? And they go, you want